Thank you, Chairman Delgado, for holding this important hearing. It is so exciting to be here today with our friend and former colleague and Undersecretary for Rural Development, especially as we're starting to plan for the 2023 Farm Bill. Certainly over the last couple of years, we have seen significant challenges facing our communities at large, but in particular our rural communities, with the unprecedented and unique challenges that we face because of COVID and the associated economic hurdles. So these challenges in rural communities, as you well know, have ranged from broadband infrastructure challenges to supply chain bottlenecks that really have ravaged critical industries like meat and poultry. And in response to these challenges, USDA's Office of Rural Development and Congress have collaborated to offer really critical assistance and solutions. And through funds from the American Rescue Plan, we have seen new programs that have been launched to address food supply chain concerns, improve access to broadband and telehealth, and to make our critical industries whole. So to follow up slightly on Congresswoman Pingree's question as well, I was so proud to host you in my district with Undersecretary Moffitt to discuss USDA's announcement of the Food Supply Chain Guaranteed Loan Program to help expand meat and poultry processing capacities using funds from the American Rescue Plan. I'm very excited that program is in part based on the Butcher Block Act, which I co-led alongside Dusty Johnson. And as you saw during that visit to my district, there are so many small processors in communities like mine who are ready to answer the call and help reduce bottlenecks in our meat supply chain, but need that bit of support. So could you give an update on this program, how it pertains to the funds that have been directed for meat and poultry processing, and how many awards have gone out so far?
Congresswoman Spanberger, thank you so much for that question and for your advocacy for meat processors and for agriculture across the board. I really appreciated the chance to get to Gordonsville, Virginia, and to meet ranchers and meat processors who were trying to answer that call in the midst of COVID. People were wanting meat, and they couldn't get it processed in time. So they were trying to find all sorts of creative ways to make that work, and everything down to the county zoning made it hard. And so all of those things they have to navigate is something we're certainly looking at. So you mentioned the Food Supply Guaranteed Loan Program, which I think is a crucial opportunity to work with local lenders on projects. But sometimes for the smaller ones, they may need more technical assistance, and that's why Undersecretary Moffitt was there. They had a program that awarded $32 million for 167 meat and poultry slaughter and processing facilities to invest in that interstate commerce. And there'll be another round with $22 million. So certainly looking at some of that assistance, technical assistance as well. And then when it comes to MPEP and making sure that we're building out the middle when it comes to meat processing, the first focus is kind of that last mile. What's that last little piece to get a project over the edge to expand options? But as we move into the future, also trying to identify other projects that are kind of more at the beginning of their work and how they can work with local lenders to receive support at the beginning stages of their work to take it to fruition. And that certainly could include independent processors and the smaller scale processors as well.
And certainly as we work towards the 2023 Farm Bill, I think we'll want to work in concert with your office to determine how it is that we should consider extending some of the funding, especially for these new loans, what we can learn from the implementation thus far, and working together with you and Undersecretary Moffitt, certainly how we can ensure that we're doing right by our small producers and in so many cases would-be meat processors. In your written testimony, you mentioned investments made through the Rural Energy for America program, the REAP program. I've been a very strong supporter of REAP and have multiple pieces of legislation kind of focused on this program. Notably, this program in the bill that I've sponsored would dramatically increase funding for the REAP program, expand eligibility, and create a fund for underutilized technologies, including biodigesters or biofuel-related infrastructures. And so as we're seeing insecurity and instability related to Putin's horrific horrific invasion of Ukraine, and we're seeing the increase of cost of natural gas and gasoline, I think this speaks now more than ever to funding to support REAP is vital. It gives producers a bit of independence and certainly reduces their dependence on foreign energy and allows them to lower energy costs. My time is up, but I will follow up with questions for the record to see what your thoughts may be on how this incredibly important program really can give some dependence to our rural communities and our farmers. Thank you for being here, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.